Habla Oli, Pop Rock Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rock Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hits från Sverige och vi lyssnar till Pop Rock Radio med Jamie Roxx.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is the Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. I'm your host, pop art painter Jamie Roxx, and this is the big show. You found it. I'm sure I'm glad you did. I'm taking a break from painting, and I've painted enough today. What else could I do? Well, talk to a couple rock stars. I have a fantastic rock band that I am just really, really impressed with out of Tucson, Arizona, the American Southwest. For those of outside the country are going, where the hell's Tucson? High desert, man, high desert. You go till you hear those eagles in the Western movies calling out. And hope you don't wind up hung from a tree somewhere. That is the American Southwest in my mind. And it is in reality in a way. Crazy stuff happens out that. It also gave rise to a really good band. The band's called Calling for Chaos. See? Fits right along. And we have two members of Calling from Chaos today. Got bass player Matt and guitarist extraordinaire Geoff. Hey, fellas.
Good evening.
How's it going?
It's going great here. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I really thank you guys for taking time out of your schedule and whatnot. I know there's a lot going on. We were supposed to do this a couple weeks ago. I was telling Matt before we started when we were, as they say in the business, ladies and gentlemen, off. We're that fancy. No, but we were BSing a little bit. And like I said, we were supposed to do this show. And what did all the kids say today? Full transparency. I effed up. Yeah. I was out to dinner with my wife. Didn't have a clue I was supposed to be doing this. She looked at her phone. She's always looking at her phone. I didn't think anything of it. I went on eating my Chinese dumplings or whatever the hell I was having. And she goes, holy moly, you're supposed to be doing a show right now. You just got a message from some guy, Brian, over a curtain call. I'm like, what? No, I don't have anything scheduled tonight. No, I don't. That's a mistake. So I'm like, let me see your phone. So I look at it and I'm looking at it through my emails. I can't. And I was telling Geoff, this is the worst, or I'm sorry, Matt, this is the worst. When you mess up or something happens and the only person you can be mad at is yourself. It's not way better when you can yell at somebody else.
Oftentimes when I mess up, I just blame it on Matt anyway. So it's all good.
There you go. That's what I'm going to start doing.
I'm a bass player.
A little electric company. I'm sorry, the check's late. You need to hunt up this guy, Matt, from this band Calling for Chaos. Yeah, they're in Arizona. I don't think it's going to fly. But that's funny. Years ago, I used to live in San Diego and I owned a gallery and it was my studio gallery. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, if you work for yourself, this is something you better get a good beat on. Sometimes it's a slow week and you got to start making calls. You got to start smiling and dialing. And I had to call the electric company because things were dire and going to be turned off and give them a story to keep the lights on. I needed a few days to make something hit, close a painting. I called them up, had my story straight, all ready, psyched myself up because I hate being in that situation. And the gal who answered the phone at the electric company that I got put with was an ex-girlfriend of mine who we did not end well. Oh, yeah, it wasn't good.
Lights off.
It wasn't good. Sweat started coming down my face. But I gotta say, but it wasn't recent. And I gotta say, she was cool about it. Okay, Jamie, just get it in here within 2 weeks. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Jeez,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it worked out. That's why you got to be nice to people, folks. That's why you got to be nice. And young bucks out there, if you're breaking up with your lady, do it in a nice way. That's all I'm saying. You never know. You don't want to be in a bad spot. So, gentlemen, I'm not in the music business. I have hung out, though, my entire life Sorry, folks. I had popcorn earlier. Ugh. Anyway, I've hung out my entire life with people that are in bands. I grew up in Metro Detroit, and during the '80s, and everybody I knew was in a band. They all played guitar. All of my friends, they all got together and wanted to start a band. And they're like, "What do you think?" Well, that's our idea. And I'm like, "There's 12 of you and you all play guitar. Somebody's going to have to learn to play drums or sing. You don't have a band, you have an orchestra, and it's going to be limited." And usually bands in scenes, that's how they form. Somebody from this band will say, "Oh man, I dig the way that guy's doing this," or "Oh, I'm thinking about doing this. That guy would be perfect," or "that gal would be fantastic." Is that how you got Calling for Chaos came together?
So what happened is me, Geoff, and Hermes, our vocalist, played in a band 10 years ago together. We were called a band called Fireglass, and we started out in Tucson, got pretty well known. And then obviously life happens. Geoff got married, started having kids. So he wanted to step away and be a father for a while. And then me and Hermes continued for a little bit. And then he ended up having to do the same thing and kind of step away. He's actually living in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, wow.
And so he's closer to his kids. So, and then when all that happened, I continued with this band for the next 6 years. And then that band recently just folded. Us and our former drummer, me and the former drummer of Calling for Chaos, we were actually working with another project, and we decided we want to start a new project because that project wasn't going anywhere. And at the time we knew Gabby and we wanted her in the band, but we didn't know how to approach her because I know she took a little bit of time off from playing. And then I think after me and him talked about her 2 days later or a day later, I get a phone call from her saying that she wanted to start a new band or she's looking for a band. And I was like, well, hey, me and this person is looking at starting a new project. You in? And she absolutely. And I reached out to Geoff. It was wild,
shit, man.
It was weird. It just happened. And I contacted Geoff and let him know, hey, because me and him were talking about getting back into playing again. And me and Hermes have been talking for the past couple of years. And I told him, hey, I got these members. They're all 100% on board, ready to go. And he jumped on. And I think after about 9 months old, doing this band, we recorded the EP, started our socials back in June, which we started the band last year in January. And I got the EP done. And then we ended up parting ways with our former drummer. We ended up picking up Matthew, which I've played in a couple bands with him, and just an amazing drummer. So everybody in the band, we're very passionate about it. We love it. We all get along. We have a good time. And we just got done spending time this weekend and recording our single and just been nonstop. So
that's awesome. That is awesome. Like I was telling you guys, I live in South Florida, and there is a large segment of the population is of a certain age, a little older than me, and there's so many guys and gals that were in bands back in the day, and then, like you had mentioned, life happened. Children showed up. And from what I understand, they're expensive. They like to eat and stuff and go to school, take classes, the whole thing. And so many of those people quit their band, went by the wayside. And it's so interesting now because you'll go to these little places where craft breweries are real big around. We're in a little sleepy beach town, and it's a whole bunch of craft breweries and shit. I don't know if they're cheaper to open or run or less bar fights or something. I don't know, but there's a bunch of them. And they always have these bands, and you'll walk in, and about 70 to 80% of the time, everybody's older than me that's in the band. And it's interesting to see, because wow, I feel like a teenager, because that was the way it was when I was a teenager. And yeah, it's just cool to see. And you talk to some of these people and they're like, well, kids are grown. I got time and I've got money. I don't have to beg, borrow, and steal to go get a new guitar or something, or do what I want to pay for studio time, things like that. And it's just cool to see. And it's cool to see in your guys' case significantly younger than the people I'm talking about. But the same thing going to happen, it seems. Kids aren't probably grown yet, but
No,
things
my
have settled
oldest,
down.
yeah, my oldest is 10 years old. So I was kind of comfortable with being like, hey, can I start playing again, get out there and start, doing shows out of town? And my wife was like, well, I mean, they are old enough and they can kind of understand what's going on.
Right.
I work on the weekends, so they kind of already used to me not being around all the time because they know dad's got to be somewhere.
Right.
And and it helps that both of them are also interested in music. And so
Nice.
with them interested in music and then them hearing the music that I'm playing, they get excited about it and I can show them different things. And that really helps. I gotta sit them down and be like, hey, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks for a tour. And, we're exploring that later on this year. But yeah, that's going to be the kind of the first real tricky situation I'm going to end up with because, we will like weekends here and there, but I mean,
but the cool thing is, and we all bitch about social media and, the technology today. And really, we're just bitching. We're sick of seeing our wives and girlfriends on TikTok. Because that's more entertaining than we are. Hurts our feelings. That's what our bitch is, ladies, about that. Put the phone down for 20 minutes, laugh a couple of our dumb jokes, and we'll leave you alone for the rest of the night. You can scroll it away. But no, what I was going to say is we all bitch about it. But one of the great things, us hanging out and bullshitting right now, we are literally 3,000 miles apart. And here we are. And there's no phone bill. There's no bullshit. Right. I talk to people all over the planet all the time. And I think that's pretty cool. This is some kind of James Bond shit from when I was a kid. This 10 years ago wouldn't be happening. And I started my podcast in 2013 and we were audio only until this past summer. Nice. So it's a lot of shows, like over 1,000. And I didn't have a lot of guests out of the country because they'd have to call in for an hour and it was expensive. Nobody wanted to call me from Berlin and pay $200 to talk about their German techno DJ outfit or something. You know what I mean? No, it wasn't happening. Now, a few years later, it's like, yeah, and not only that, here's my friend King from Beijing, China, and jumping on, and it's amazing. So what I'm saying is when you're on this tour, I'm sure you're going to be able to FaceTime,
Oh yeah.
If somebody messes up, the wife, the missus will be like, got your papa on the phone right here, mister. Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah.
Thought he was on tour. I gotta clean the garage? What the hell?
I am very thankful for it because like you said, if we are on the road or I'm out of town, I can make that phone call. I can FaceTime my wife and have her give the phone to the kids and see them. So it really helps because that was part of the problem we had was I'm not going to be there for them. I'm not going to see them. And now that they're a little older, we have that better technology. All I have to do is just grab my phone and talk. So
that's fantastic. That's very, very cool. And your singer lives in another city. So it's like, I was thinking about, this riff or that on this particular track or whatever, send it over. And instantly, I think we're going to go this way on it or that way. You know what I mean? And you can have powwow and figure shit out, It's amazing. It's amazing. I was talking to a band from about a year ago and they all live in different countries. They have never met. They've never played live together. They've never hung out. It's all digital. And they're a rock band. It isn't like some weird techno band, folks. They're a rock band. And they just shoot tracks and stuff for their parts and then it's put together. And it's a crazy world we live in. It's a crazy world.
Well, and it's pretty crazy because Gabby and Hermes usually write, let's say about 80% of the music. And then him and Gabby will be up late, FaceTiming, writing riffs and everything. Gabby will bring them in, show us, or we record them. We put them in the WhatsApp and we listen to them. And then as a band, we get together about once or twice a week and we work over everything. I put my parts in, Geoff puts his parts in, Matthew does his thing on the drums, and then we actually record everything and then we send it to Hermes and he'll help restructure and, hey, this is how my vocals are going to go. And that's pretty much how we write everything. And then when we get ready to, and then what's that?
I was going to say, when it does roll, it gets to a point where it rolls into for mastering or whatever the hell it's got to go through.
Yep.
It's already all put together. You're not all sitting in a studio paying by the second going, well, I hope I think of something because kids that aren't going to eat this week because of it. Yeah.
Speaking of Hermes, there he is.
We manifested him. Look at that microphone. That is fantastic.
His ears were burning. You heard us talking about him.
Yeah.
Barely.
Can you guys hear me okay?
There we go. I got you a little bit better.
There we go. Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Barely. Is it better now?
No worries.
Good. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm taking this train thing home, and I had an accident last year and messed me up. So I haven't been driving on the freeway or anything, but
I hope you're okay.
Sorry for being late.
It's weird. You get to a point in life, folks, where you have like these accidents, and I fell with a fucking I'll tell you a weird one. I was taking a shower. No, granted, I am a chunky monkey. I admit it and whatnot. But I'm in the shower. And our house is old, and I guess somebody before we bought it, lived here because it has one of those handicap bar, like old man bars in there. And I'm glad it did because I slipped and I grabbed the bar and I almost fell. I didn't fall, but I swear to God, I wrecked all the muscles. I pulled all the muscles on the entire right side of my body. I'm like, how the hell did that gimping around for 2 weeks after that from taking a shower? Jesus Christ. In a car crash, it's even worse.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was pretty messed up. It was a 16-year-old.
Jesus Christ.
Late for prom.
He'll never hear. And
then I had to have
there's some gal
had a surgery on my
giving him a ration of shit.
Right shoulder.
Sure, you were late because you got in a car wreck. Sure. You were probably texting Betty Lou. No. Here's Hermes in the ICU right now. What the hell? Jesus.
Yeah. First time I ever rode in an ambulance.
That's a fun time and real cheap too. Jesus.
Oh, really, man? They put that neck brace and that's the worst.
I had some medical stuff about 10 years ago and came out of one of the surgeries. Stuff happened. And I woke up in the ICU and I had one of those, Neo in the Matrix when he comes up in the pod and he pulls that thing up. They had one of those things in me and I was trying to get it out and they put these mitts on me so I couldn't grab it. I'd never been religious in my entire life. And at that moment I thought, maybe I have been wrong and have made a bad turn. This is not good. Yeah. I was
save me, Lord.
Say it because I had that thing, but I was thinking it. Yeah, medical stuff sucks.
I hear you.
Well, you got the coolest job in the world. You're singing in a cool rock band. Oh, yeah.
It's a badass band, man. I'm very grateful.
The story and everything, how everything kind of happened and came into place. It was a miracle, one would say. Just people calling and being available at the right time, just gelling.
Matt, why are you sideways?
Everybody watching the video in the future, hello from the past. Yeah, but he can't see us all,
bro.
I'm laying down, bro. That's what's happening. So I'm just like,
but everybody watching this is going to be like, what the hell are they talking about? Because I'm going to fix it in post. He'll be right side up. I promise. We'll put you guys on the side.
Okay.
How's it going?
Hey, Matt.
He's an artiste. You know how they are. You know how some of these musicians are, especially bass.
I can only count to 5.
it's like you just do the you just do the random things.
Exactly,
So
bro.
people
I'm
talk
just a
about
bass
it,
player. I
right?
can only count to 5, so I got to do something to make my life interesting.
Like they say, there's no bed press.
No, we're glad you're
Anyway,
here.
sorry to barge in and
How dare you?
Let me ask you,
disturb the
Hermes,
moment.
have you always, like when you were a young lad, a young man, did you know Rockstar was like, that was the plan for the future?
Oh man, since I was 12, I always sang and presented, like did shows with a guitar, and then after 13, 14, did it with a band, and we would play like different high school, not even high school, just people we knew from high school, but would play at their birthday parties. And it was always like, if you like some metal, come over here, and everybody would go away, and just who really liked rock and metal would stay. And then the DJ would come in and everybody would come back. But screw it. Like,
That's cool.
I was pretty bold. I was very bold.
Well,
I feel bad for my bandmates back then.
It's cool to go through. I was telling the guys, I'm not in the music business, but I always hung out with musicians. And the reason I did, being honest, they always knew a ton of women. There was always a ton of girls hanging out with them. So I'm like, that's where I'm hanging out with. I remember I had a group of guys I used to play Dungeons and Dragons with. I was like 12 years old, and I was hanging out with some musicians I knew, some people a couple years older than me, but they were doing their thing. Yeah. At one of their rehearsals, there was some gal there, kissed a gal for the first time, like a real kiss. And I was like, fuck Dungeons and Dragons. And my Dungeons and Dragons buddies were like, why aren't you playing it? I'm like, no, man, I'm trying to get some more of that French kiss action. That's way better than casting spells with you guys. Are you kidding me? Doesn't compare. So I've always hung out with musicians.
I don't blame you.
Because they're cool. But one of the interesting things that I saw from the outside looking in is a lot of bands that I knew, there was usually one person, maybe a couple, sometimes two, that were really driven, that were really the guys and gals that made shit happen, booked gigs, made sure everybody rehearsed, sure checks got written and people got paid. The bands I'm talking. It sounds, and it almost seems to me like you guys saw those driven people and said, hey, let's all work on a project. It doesn't seem like there's just one person in your guys' group that's lifting the heavy load. All are. Yeah, that's true.
Like, I was in the industry here in Arizona, at least for the last 10, 15 years. So he has a lot of connections. Gabby has a lot of connections. Matthew has a lot of connections. And then you have Hermes up in Salt Lake. So we have two different markets that we have connections with. And then you have, Gabby, who's a night owl, who gets off of work, goes straight home, starts playing guitar.
Right.
Hermes, who's still awake. So let's just send him an idea. Then he's like, okay, let me tweak this and send it back. Then she brings it to the band and I'm like, all right, I can work with this. And Matt's like, all right, give me like a week. I'll figure my part out. And Matthew's like, yeah, okay. And, like a week or two later, we have a single ready basically. And
that's amazing.
We're ready to record because I think this latest single, we only had like a couple weeks to work on. We had the general idea what we're going to do, but we had about 2 weeks to fully rehearse and practice it as the music part without Hermes. And Hermes flew down and we just sat in the record. And I think it took us about 10 hours to get everything done. But we had everything done. We had rehearsed it so well and got everything, even the little tweaks we were doing.
That's amazing.
But this new single though, it's if we were to work on it any longer, it would overcook. So it's like we all understood that we got it, we worked it really good, and then we're like, yep, that's it. And we all feel really good about it. And let me just point out, Matthew is the easiest drummer by far I've ever worked with.
Nice.
He's professional, he's really good at his craft, and it's like easy to write with him. And hey, try this. All right, I'll do that. Hey, try this. All right. It's like, oh man. Not even like
exactly.
It's awesome. It's great.
It's cool when you see that happen and whatnot, and you find people that you can collaborate with. like that on that level, because that's rare. Everybody, I got to tell you out there, check it out. Do a little research, man. Look into some of your bands and stuff and see how smooth the process. 75, 80% of the time, if not more, it ain't that smooth or easy. You know what I mean?
Where it's usually that one person just basically, here's this, play it. And it's like, I've been that guy before, and I really, like, today I hate it. Like, how could I ever have been that way? But
Right.
it helped me grow to who I am today. But we were talking, Matt and I, earlier today, like how amazing the energy it is that we're all together and we just had this, it was just harmony. That's the very first time I've ever been in a band that doesn't have a beef one with another, like at least one person with somebody else. And it's just been great. It feels great. We're doing a mini tour here soon, and it's going to be interesting to, like, just feel each other up a little bit more. And
it's that kind of band. I got you.
I mean, we're feeling up Matt all the time. So
which one of you guys? Which one of you guys is the DJ?
Fill each other out a little bit more.
DJ friends, do not send me message. Hey, let's play. We've got, I don't know what we should play first. We've got Mistake, we've got Lunatic, and we've got Lust. What should we hit everybody with first?
Matt
Yeah,
really likes
Lunatic's like my
Lunatic,
favorite
so.
song.
No,
He's already laying down. He might just pass out.
That's
he's getting ready for bed.
He's already
the old
laying
man,
right there.
Screw you guys.
Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is Calling for Chaos, Lunatic.
So I just found out, I guess, some bad news.
What's that?
I'm gonna have to move you to Texas or New Mexico for work.
Well, you just gotta let me know. Like I told you, I'll always move wherever you go.
Okay.
Who's that?
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I do not lie. That was a fantastic track. Amazing. Now, this was a very cool, this is another thing of technology that I really dig right now. A great lyric video. When did those start happening? What, 10 years ago, maybe? Because I don't remember seeing that.
I think just in general, like lyric videos just started coming out.
You're totally right, Hermes. Hermes is totally right. I am spaced out of my head. I was talking about, Lust. The Hells messed me up. No, Lunatic's the one we just played. That's right, Lunatic.
I figured I'd save you right.
This is the one.
It doesn't help where you have all elbow from one, so
that's the one with the crazy chick.
That's right. Yeah. I blacked out the crazy chick, just blanked it. There's still some fresh trauma from all the ones I have known over the years. Jesus Christ. You do a whole 3 hours on those tough stories. Annie.
It's easy to write about them.
I'm telling you. Now,
they give you
to be
material,
fair,
man.
I have known some gals that had lunatic ex-boyfriends. Certain ones that come to mind, but they're usually not as crazy. Well, I don't know. I can't say that. It's a different crazy usually. Women just seem to be more mean, I think. Men are more savage. Speaking of lunatics, maybe lunatic men are more savage, more women will fuck with your mind while they're fucking with your shit. You know what I mean? Oh, your Little League Baseball jersey? Well, we're burning that, but we're taking a picture of it and sending it to you. You know what I mean? Jesus. It's, guys, I'm just going to stand out. I'm just going to Michael Myers you. We'll just follow you around and stare at you. How about this, folks? Yeah.
You know what? I've been told they are more fun that way.
Yeah, we all seem to like them. I'm telling you, oh man, there was a time in my life where I just had that psychic ability. I could go to a party, there'd be 100 people there. I'm like, okay, where's the most just insane gal in this place? Like the Terminator. Bing. Next thing I know, she's burning my Little League jersey. Jesus.
Also, that is a real story.
I think I dodged a bullet on one. It comes to mind. There was some country song that was popular. It was years back. I don't know who sang it. It was some gal, some country gal. And the song was called Before He Cheats or Because He Cheats or something. Yeah, yep. And she was going to mess up his car.
Carrie Underwood.
So I had a blind date. My friend set me up on a blind date. But it was a woman, so I don't think it was a joke. It might have been. And we went to a karaoke bar because I'm like, it was kind of last minute. I'm like, what are we going to do? Let's go to a karaoke. And she sang that to me. And everybody in the bar was looking at me and I'm going, it wasn't me. I just met this gal. I haven't cheated. I haven't done that. Literally met her an hour ago. Yeah, sure. We did not have a second date, but I think I dodged a bullet on that one.
So she didn't carve her name on your
both headlights.
That's what I'm worried about, man. It's worried about. I hadn't even done it. And those
that was a pretty good warning for you. So
yeah, I think so. No, folks, I'm not saying I was virginal white in that period of my time, my life. I was pretty good at pissing women off. I gotta say. Took me a while to figure that shit out.
You only get better when you get married.
Yeah.
Sometimes by breathing too loud. I
don't know because I breathe too loud. My wife yelled at me, so I'm a little confused on this one.
It's true. Oh my gosh, it's relationships. So let me ask you this, because I'm always curious about this. Because when people see my paintings, they see the finished product and they think, I've had people say stuff like, what? Rolled out of bed this morning, knocked that out. That was an easy peasy. And sometimes that does happen. And I celebrate those days because it's very rare when that happens. What nobody ever sees is me fighting the thing, wanting to throw it in the street and jump up and down on it. And I imagine with music as an art form, it's got to be a similar thing. Sometimes maybe they come easy, I imagine. The reality, in the whole process of the track, of the song. maybe it comes hard. Now we here, in this case, watch the video for Lunatic, which is fantastic. And it's polished. It's finished. It sounds perfect. It's just like, everything came together for this one. You guys don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I am curious to know, because I always wonder that when I hear such a good track. I'm like, how did it go creating this? Was it an easy one? Was it a hard one?
I can't remember with Lunatic if it was that hard, but I remember with Lust, we had Lust down in about a week, but we had another song from our EP, Lies, which that one took us about a good 3 months or something like that before we even had a pretty good structure. So it really is hit or miss, where sometimes we can just, if we're feeling the song, it's done. But sometimes it just takes a little time to progress and figure out the little things that make, those songs just good and amazing and sound great. But sometimes you have that mental block and you're like, I can't figure out what this needs. Someone help me.
Yeah, with Lunatic, it was about 1 a.m. on a Friday night. I just had this pop thing on my head, tuck, 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 like Animals as Leaders, what I had in mind. Just on the how they do the right, that little pop, 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 and I just sat down, recorded something, sent it to Gabby. She had just gotten home from work. Oh no, she was off on a Friday, so I don't know where she was, but she was kind of just sitting there because she messaged me right back. I was like, "What do you think of this?" She's like, "Send me a video right now," and then
Right.
just because it's like easier for her to see what I'm doing and not have to like figure it out. So then she just like, "Oh man, I just love this." I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of cool." And then she came back with like half of it done. And I was like, "Oh yeah." And then we kind of just worked on that night. And then came the following week. Everybody was basically ready to just go over the song. I think that one, we didn't mess with it much. I think the most we worked on that was, Geoff is the king of breakdowns. So we're like, "Hey Geoff, we need a breakdown." And then he's the one that came up with that breakdown. Super cool. And it just, it when it's right, it just
And
comes
I
out
think
very smoothly. So
also, Greg,
it doesn't take
for
long.
Lunatic, really quick, also, we had the song pretty much done, but we didn't really 100% have it finished until Hermes came down, where we started tracking the EP. Then we finished the song. And
Nice.
so we had the basic structure, and then when Hermes heard everything, after tracking everything, we started tweaking and, okay, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And it just fell into place for that whole song.
And it's not like I am a genius, but I'm really close with our producer in Brazil. So everything we're doing and everything, I usually send it to him. I'm like, "Do you have some ideas here, some idea there?" Like he just helped us a lot with this last single. So when I come down, since I'm in Utah, I come down. That's our very first time with those songs together. So we can actually sit down
Nice.
and be like, "Hey, try this, try that." So I have all my notes and I study that so that we can work. Or sometimes we come up with things on the fly, like Geoff and I. What is this off time stuff? And then after he
Yeah,
recorded
okay.
everything, he's, "Dude, that really fits. Okay, work." And if it doesn't
It
work,
really
then we
helps.
throw it away and do something else.
It
But
really helps when
it's very
Hermes
limited.
comes. He has
Our
so
time
many
together is
ideas
very
that he
limited.
can't really convey over the phone or anything like that. So when we're in person, he's like, "Try this. Just trust me. I want to hear how it goes." And sometimes we're like, "Yeah, that sounds amazing." And sometimes it just takes us just a few minutes to get it. Or sometimes we're just like, "Let's put that on the back burner. Maybe something else will work." And at this point, but I think the best part about this group is we're all very good with criticism because we know it's not coming from a place of malice.
Right.
We're trying to be good and we're trying to be better, and everyone's trying to be better for everybody. So I can show something to Gabby and she's like, "Let me try that. Let's see how that sounds." And we bounce ideas off, and Matt's ready to come up with something. And then Hermes shows up and says, "All right, I had some weird stuff and we're going to go with it and it's going to sound great." And
Scratch everything. This is what we're doing.
Ladies and
it ends up
gentlemen,
sounding amazing. So it really is a great.
Not really.
folks out there listening and watching, and especially creative people in the creative world. And I don't care what kind of art you're doing. If you're making music, painting, baking bread, whatever, doesn't matter. You have to get And this is experience and wisdom. You have to get to a place as an artist where, yeah, criticism isn't personal about you. It's about the work. Me and my wife I'll finish a painting and she's the final boss. That's the final boss I got to fight in the video game. When I call her into the studio and say, okay, here it is, we're to a point now. Me and her have always been this way, but I'm at a point as an artist where she's, that right eye is just something's bugging me. It's off just a little bit. And it can be the white reflection in the pupil. It can be something my thing that's throwing things off. And instead of taking it personally, I look at it from what she's saying and I'm like, holy shit, she's right. Let's change that. Right. And then everything clicks together. But you got to, no matter what you're doing, get to that point where it's not an attack on, you know what I mean? And even if it was, you got to get to a point where it doesn't matter. It's about, because your name's on the door, baby. Your name, whatever art you're doing, this is a representation of you. And I know I said you got to take it away, but you want the best representation of you out there. You know what I mean? So criticism can be your friend sometimes, is all I'm saying. Learn how to, if you're 16 and in a high school band, yeah, I get it. You're going to take it personal and you're going to rant and rant, if you keep doing it, you'll look back in 10 years and go, Jesus Christ, I wasted a lot of time ranting and raving.
So we discovered they were right the entire time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because people,
the sooner you learn to leave the ego
Absolutely.
at the door, the sooner you can grow. Because it's like, we have even Lunatic, we're talking about. Matt had a friend of his hear a little piece of the demo, and I'm here feeling like, man, this is like one of the best vocal lines I ever wrote. And then Matt, my friend had this idea. And then in the back of my mind, I'm just like, what the hell, man? I'm just like feeling like $1 million about these vocals because I'm trying to be better. So I'm like, let me try that during the recording. So I sat here and tried one thing, not so much. I tried the other thing, not so much. But I arrived at a place where I was like, Matt, what do you think of this here? It's not exactly what he was saying, but it's a little different. I really like this. And then he's, oh yeah, we really like that. So it worked out. Instead of just staying the way I had done, I'm like, oh no, I wrote this, so you take it. That's not how it works, because to keep a really good energy and everybody working together, and we got to feel like we are a part of it. You got to take it as, when I express my opinion here, it's valid. It's not that somebody's just going to hear and be like, yeah, you don't know anything. It's like, we're not that kind of band. So now if you're really doing something crappy, I think we got to be honest, be like, don't do that again. You know what I mean?
The thing
And
is,
it is what it is. It's
is
any of us,
whoever
so.
brings that criticism, especially in a band like your guys', there may come next week. It may be their baby on the chopping block, their cool little thing that they've come up with that isn't working, and it gets pointed out. And if everybody was cool when they were the ones pointing something out, they know that, you know what I mean? It may go a little smoother because they're like, these guys aren't get me. They're.
Well, Jamie, I think that the biggest thing right there is the delivery. You can deliver it so many different ways. And to make someone understand that you do care and you're just trying for the best of, like, maybe let's try something new and different. It's not like, hey, take this crap out of here. It's not that. No. Hey, I think that what you wrote is okay, but it just doesn't work here. Like, my vision for this song is this. And then we kind of got to, at one point, we got to follow one way and everybody has to be together. So sometimes it's Gabby where she's like, I just really love this way, or it's like, maybe we should
I
try
love her
something different.
riffs.
It's
I got to
like,
tell you, I think it was last week was Eddie Van Halen's birthday. Rest in peace. As a kid of the 80s and a fan of 80s rock, you love some classic Van Halen. So I was listening to it that day, and I had been listening to it making his guitar laugh, in the background of Panama or something, like that. it just made it cool. And one of the things I really like about Gabby's guitar playing is I see little flourish, or I hear little flourishes every so. I'm like, wow, not only can she play, but she knows what to play. You know what I mean? She's like, here, let me just, yeah, we're not just putting icing on this cake. We're putting a cherry too. You know what I mean? And it works. And
And it's funny that she brings that pop into the metal realm. So Geoff is super heavy, and then she brings these Avril Lavigne thing, and we're like, okay, how did you fit that in there? That all sounds
all
good.
right, let's kill switch engage this. Like, I got this, guys.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, and you guys are, and I say this every show that I have somebody on, because there's some kid out there. There's some kid in Nebraska or New Zealand or somewhere, and they're watching this, and they want to be where you guys are. They want to be. That's the dream. You guys are, living it. The thing is you have to be a good hang, and you got to get along with people. And these guys obviously are all good hangs. You know what I mean? They're fun to be around, but they're serious enough to get the serious work done when it needs to be done as well. There's that balance. You can't just screw around all the time. Especially, when the meter's running studio time or producer time or whatever, nope. First off, musicians, congratulations, guys. You guys all chose the expensive art. You know what I mean? Me, I go buy some paint and a canvas. It ain't that bad. It ain't the end of the world. You guys, oh man, when Matt goes out to buy Roto Sound swing bass strings, Jesus Christ, it's $50. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Never that microphone in front of Hermes right there that I'm so jealous of. That was not a cheapo microphone. Well, somebody laid out for that.
It was a gift from a great brand.
Oh man, go ahead, man.
I feel bad for the drummers because the drummer heads and the cymbals and constantly buying sticks. It's ridiculous.
Real fast.
Yeah, it's like a BMW. It's just bring your wallet. Bring my wallet. That's what BMWs.
Well, what about the singer, man? The singer has to stay healthy.
Lemon juice.
Buy all the vitamins.
Can't be doing those Jaeger shots. Jesus Christ.
Where's your sense of adventure? Come on.
And then he finishes show, and then somebody just, it was okay. But like, I saw you go flat here and there. So
it's amazing.
It's
all of you, though, especially in rock bands, because there's such a high energy two-way. I was thinking about this. I had a guest on the show, and she read audiobooks. That was her she was an actress. Things happened, didn't work. That really didn't pan out for her, but she got a gig reading audiobooks. And I got to admit it, when she was first booked on the show, I thought to myself, audiobook? How hard is that, reading a book? Ooh, I could do that. I've read books, you know what I mean? Nobody's sending me a check. So as I was talking to her, it dawned on me. She's like, yeah, and then on day 16 of reading, I'm like, holy shit, 16 days, 8-hour days of reading in the same tone. And if you get sick or some shit, you still got to keep that tone and it's got to be the same throughout. Holy moly. And so then I started thinking of all my musician friends. I'm like, holy shit, playing 2 hours on a stage, running around screaming and sliding, and maybe you have the day off tomorrow. Probably not.
But still different, though. You think about some of these people that read audiobooks, they make different voices.
And remember,
they go back to that same voice every time that character. Yes, I find that extremely, it's just talent, pure talent. Because for you to remember that one voice for that character every time they speak, it's incredible. Now, we're playing live, though. You're getting fed by the crowd. We had this little 10-year-old jump on stage with us once in Tucson. Nice. We just it made our show. It was awesome. It was just so.
That's something you'll see at a rock
we
show.
feed off the crowd a lot.
You'll see that energy. I love going. I've seen it maybe at like a trance show, like with a trance DJ, maybe once or twice, but usually it happens a lot with rock shows. The band will have an energy. And this will sound very California, new age, and let me grab a crystal. No, but the band will have an energy, and that energy will get thrown onto the audience. And the audience builds that energy and then throws it back onto the beat. And this keeps happening and building. And you have this like ping pong tennis thing going. You just don't see that at a bluegrass show. You know what I mean? You just don't. And I'm not putting bluegrass down. I'm just saying, I've been to a lot of symphonies. I haven't seen that, maybe if Bach were actually playing the shit, instead of a fancy cover band, really all a symphony is, it would be different. But I see that at rock shows and some of the videos I've seen of your guys, you see it. Not only are you into your music, the audience is into it. That's good art. Good art.
I always tell people, if you're depressed, go to a rock metal show, go to local shows somewhere, and you're going to see these people. They're super into it. Even if you don't know the music, all of a sudden you can just engage and you feed off of that energy, and it just changes your day, man. It like makes your mood
Absolutely. And
that much
Hermes,
better. So
for those only listening to our audio
it's awesome.
podcast, you don't know this, for those watching on YouTube and whatnot, Hermes has something very important right now on that he's wearing that I tell any youngster out there. I don't care what you're doing, find yourself a leather jacket. If you don't have a leather jacket yet, you're missing out. That first leather will change your life. Girls will want to kiss you.
Yep.
See?
Gabby was the first one to
yeah.
get it, and then I was
Matt,
like,
I don't think
need
you can get a
one
leather
too.
jacket. You have to actually wear sleeves occasionally. So
Well,
Matt
Dude, I'm
thinks
not
he's in
wearing a
Red
tube
Hot Chili
sock,
Peppers
all right?
sometimes and just
it's that Arizona heat.
he goes out like Flea, goes out with Flea. But you know what? It attracts the crowd, man. We put out a video, that lunatic video. As soon as he showed up there, driving the car all cool, people are like, hot damn, who is that? I was like, all right, fast forward.
Well, let's play.
It's just
Before Matt's head gets too big, let's play the next. Now, should we do, we've got Mistake and we've got
Bigger.
Lust. The one I was talking about earlier. What do you guys want to play?
You guys choose this time.
must be lust.
yeah, I would say Lust.
Okay.
Your guys' choice.
Here it
this time.
is, folks. Here it is. It's Calling for Chaos. Hey, and by the way, folks, we have floating around your screen right now and definitely clickable links in the description. All of the links for Calling to Chaos is their website, all their social media, all that shit right there. So yeah, check this out. This is the lyric video this time. I'm getting it right. Calling for Chaos Lust. Here it is. Enjoy.
Plausibly conceding just sick of your lies, and you still believe I'm in love. It's not 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 love. It's love. It's not love. It's not love. It's not love. It's love. It's not love. It's not love. It's lust. It's not love. It's not love. It's not love. It's lust.
It's that's how good this track was.
I wiggled.
And they've heard it 5,000 times. That's the amazing. Uh,
I
We're
know.
ready for 5 more thousand times.
I'm
so.
just saying. Now, let me ask you guys, because we mentioned all the social media link, and Spotify and whatnot is also linked down there. All these tracks are out, right? People can buy these. Nice.
Our entire
Nice.
EP is available to listen to. Oh, sorry.
And they can always find it.
Our entire EP
Yep,
is on
go
YouTube
ahead,
that
sorry.
you can
You were
listen
gonna say
to.
what
You can
I'm
purchase
thinking.
it on any major
Streaming.
iTunes and all the music places you can buy it, and it's on Spotify. So if you want to find it, just look for us. And you can even go to our website, callingforchaos.com, and listen to it there. And it's got our
Nice.
bios. It has our shows coming up. So if you have any questions, our website, it's going to have it, and we have our music playing in the background anytime you're on there. So
Very cool.
And it's cool because you can join the members area. We
Nice.
post like extra content in there. We have a bunch of different videos from this past weekend that's going to be making its way into there. And then you can sign up to
Very
the
cool.
newsletter that goes out every month and stay up. We call it
I like
keeping
it.
up with the
I like
chaos,
it.
as
And
Gabby
you know,
came up
people
with.
wants me too. They're like, these cool bands you have on the show, like, where's the best place to get their stuff, you know? And I'm like, at a show. And they're like, yeah, but I'm in the Ukraine. I can't get to a show. Well, go to their folks. My advice is, if anytime
The
you can
website.
buy direct from any band, go that route if you can. If you can't and you got to use streaming, that's great too. Use it. While you're on your streaming site, be sure to add that band to your playlists and whatnot, 'cause that helps with the algorithm immensely. But yeah, if you can buy it directly, just because you have to understand in that business, and I've never seen it as bad. People hear me bitch about galleries because you have to give half your money away to the gallery. They're like, they're like, why don't you be in more galleries? I'm like, I don't like cutting my pay in half. That's why. Music, no, I'm not going to give away the numbers, folks. Everybody has Google. They can, if you really want to know. All I will say, any other business, there would be fraud charges. It's highway robbery. The size of the pie slices from the pie that the artists get, the people making this cool music, and the streaming. And it's David and Goliath difference. It is crazy.
There is not even a size of any pie for an artist nowadays. That's why if you really want to be doing music,
Well,
you
the
got to
crazy
be out 300 days
now,
out
a
of
lot
the
of these
year. to
venues are
even-
starting,
because
and I haven't seen it everywhere, but I've seen it out west, definitely in California. These merch fees and shit they're trying to tack on. I'm like, you want part of the
Yeah.
merch tip?
Can you imagine that though? It's like the artist already paid to get there, to play a
To
show
make
at your
sure.
venue. They paid for their own merch, and now you want a fee, a cut from that when you're barely paying them off the door, which is, it's whatever. Like, we want to play shows, and I understand people
Well,
need to have
screw
their
that.
venues,
Add a
but
dollar to
it's
the
crazy
Jaeger
what's going on
shots
right
and move
now.
on with your day. You know? Jesus.
Yeah.
Vegas is, I've seen the coolest breakdown. I hate that whole pay to play shit. I don't know if they do that in Arizona or Utah, but where they're like, okay, there's 300 tickets that you're responsible for. You better sell them. It's like, oh, I don't have enough to do. I was going to rehearse before the show, but what the fuck? Just pisses me off when I see that because it's not right. But when I was in Las Vegas, the weird thing about Vegas is it's a 24-hour town. So your friends will say, hey, come check out my show. It's at 3:30 to 4:30 at some crazy bar downtown where over the heroin addicts when you're coming in. Man, it's great. Particular place. The reason I'm saying that, ladies and gentlemen, this particular venue that I'm thinking about right now, washroom, the bathroom, and they had a blue light in there. I'm like, a blue light? What is this, Kmart? What's this, the special? So I asked the bartender, and she's, oh man, that's so junkies can't find a vein. Because if somebody ODs, we got to close the venue down for an hour while they do all their shit, the cops. And so, yeah, if you ever go to a venue and there's a blue light, that's put your wallet from your back pocket into your front. That's all I'm saying. Not saying something's going to happen, but be aware. Anyhow. Yeah.
That's how
just turn around and go pee in the parking lot.
And I guess all the venues, a lot of the majority of venues do this in Vegas, is they say Calling for Chaos is playing from like 1 to 2 or some shit, They'll run a Z tape at their bar at 1 o'clock and they'll say, okay, here's where we're at. And then at 2 o'clock, they run another Z tape. Oh, we made this much money. You guys get 20% of that. I'm like, that's fair. There's no arguing with it when it's all based on drink sales. The whole reason to have the band into the venue. But yeah, I just see that. I see these venues and I've been going to clubs a long time. I don't do it anymore. I'm retired now, but you got to take care of the band. If your band is bringing 500 people.
And that's one of the hard times, although Matt and I, we have basically like over a decade or almost 2 decades of experience under our belts with bands and stuff like that. And we all been playing, everyone in the band has been playing for well over 20 years, except the baby in the band, Matthew. But
what a group of people to learn
he
from.
Was very little.
How
but
cool is that?
What I was going to say is like, you have all this experience and, some of these venues are like kind of taking a risk, right? When they bring us in at first and then they immediately write us back and be like, hey, whenever you guys are ready, we can book you again. It's like, it's because the band only has a year, doesn't mean that the musicians here, we're kind of all these bands that you have different bands and then they leave and they build that one band that they all have experience with. The band is new. Cool. It's basically kind of how we are. So it's not like we are amateurs. So it takes a little bit for venues to learn that from us. And then they're like calling us back. But we're trying to explore the entire USA and even a few international tours and all. So if we come to your town, it's important that you come out because it might be that it might take like a year for us to come back. And I mean,
and if you're
might take you that long
in
to
your
actually
scene,
catch a show with us. So
you're active in your town and you know a venue and everybody knows it's in the scene. I mean, it's very true. If there's a good venue that takes care of people and doesn't screw with people and everything's good, got all the links in the description. Let people know. Help get the word out to these bands that you want to come to your market, your town, because you're there. You're in the trenches. Drop a dime, man. Same thing. If it's a bad venue, and we all have known those as well, it's very true. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Or promoters and.
Very true. I knew. I'll never forget. I had left California and I had a friend of mine who owned a venue and some promoter sold a bunch of tickets, had booked an act that he really didn't book. They sold a bunch of tickets, before contracts were signed and stuff. I was taking the winter off, living in a cornfield in northern Michigan at the time, built a house there, just doing a self-imposed detox, settle down type thing for a month or so. This venue owner called me and got a hold of me. And she was like, I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm so sorry. Do you know where this guy could be? I'm like, give me a half an hour. And yeah, it was very easy to track down where this guy was because he had left with all the money. And that kind of stuff happens. It just happens all the time. People talk. You have to, first off, don't be that guy. You know what I mean? Don't be that person. We get it. You're not cool enough to be in a band or you don't have the talent, so you want to be a promoter. We understand that. Be a good promoter.
Well, nowadays it's really hard to really hide anywhere. If you do dirty,
Absolutely.
you're gonna get caught, and people are gonna know who you are. Like it's it's just be decent, man. If you can't do the job, just don't even do it. Because people like not just us, but a lot of bands that we know, they really put on a lot of work, and people are there every week rehearsing. They are writing music and things like that. And nowadays, that I noticed is they have all these song contests everywhere. Hey, submit your song for a song contest. And then they're just basically selling that idea to other people, and then they're like just tweaking it here and there and then selling it to major artists. So it's just rude, man. It's just rude, it's wrong, and it's just they think that there's no way out. You can't prove that, and it's just it's fine. It's not my goal to
No.
prove it, but you're never gonna have me
And
writing for you.
if you're good at
so
something, you should get paid for it. That's the bottom line. But just be a good person, man. You know, Hermes and Geoff and whatnot, and even Matt. Matt's not seeing his fiance. The guys aren't seeing their kids. They're coming to entertain you. Don't do them dirty. You know, be cool. Gabby, I don't know what she's doing. She's, you know, at home with her guitar. She's missing the guitar she didn't bring with her on the tour, you know.
Yeah, we don't even know what Gabby's doing, so it's all good.
We don't know about little Matthew. He, you know, he left with some blonde with long legs, so we just
she's just there
we hope
ignore
he doesn't get a tattoo on his face. That's what we're hoping, you know. There you go.
Gabby is just there ignoring bitches.
Yep.
Exactly. On that note,
It's a funny joke.
No,
Sorry, it's an inside thing. I have a song that we have a song, this new song that says the pictures I ignore. And Geoff, the whole time that's what you sing there. The whole time I heard you saying the bitches I ignore. I'm like, why are you ignoring
I
that?
didn't know until I looked at it on paper. I was like, oh, that's the lyric. I knew it wasn't what I thought it was, but I could not get it out of my head. I was like,
it's
no,
not
that's
like
what it
he's
is.
in the band, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ.
Nobody listens to vocals, man. It's just the melody. I could write anything in there. Matt would be like, well, you put that in there? What?
Absolutely. Let's play Mistake. Here it is, folks. Calling for Chaos. This is a kick-ass video, by the way. Well, let's play it and then we'll talk. Here it is. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I did not lie. That's a very cool cybery feel to it in the video. Yeah, it's very cool. It's a good track.
Yeah, we shot it in Utah too. We had a couple shows in Utah, and then we
Nice.
shot over here at my
Nice.
house,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we had a good
That's the
time.
kind of track
Yeah.
you put as background
It was
music when
fun.
you're either, meeting a woman or robbing a bank. Either way, that's gonna fit. That's all I'm saying. Good stuff on there.
Yeah. And the fun thing is we're really exploring one thing that a lot of people I've talked to about Calling for Chaos is we're trying to explore more on the mental health side of the world these days, and it's such a big issue and nobody's talking about it that much. It's like everybody needs to take a couple steps back, breathe, learn self-love a little bit, and stop to just harm yourself because somebody else not doing what you want. And that's basically what the symbols on the face as you're watching the steak, all those symbols basically represent like different stages of grief. And it's like basically what we're trying to pass is the song is talking about mistake, but then there's also a realization of you get your answers from all of that was wrong with the relationship or any situation. And then you can't just get down on yourself, but you have to just get out of that. And sometimes we allow people to just bluntly mistreat us in our hearts just because somehow we're like, oh, I love you, but it's I don't want your love. Okay, so then you should love yourself and put that love towards you. Do things that you love. And then once you're good with you, you're not going to allow anybody to treat you that way. So anyway, it's a kind of a long
very
explanation,
smart.
but
I
that's
always
basically
tell
what it's
youngsters
about.
that I meet, get right with you, and then someone else can get right with you too. You know what I mean? But the first part of that is you got to handle your scandal. You got to take care of your shit. It's very true. Very true. Very cool band. Now, you had mentioned, Hermes, that you guys are doing a mini tour coming up, and the EP is out. So this tour is going to be supporting the EP, right?
And we might, if you guys come out, we might be bringing this new single here, maybe playing it live before it comes out to the people that come out. Who knows? Everything is possible, but Matt can talk about that. Now
Yeah,
he's actually decided to get up and
he
he's
walked to the
upright.
top of the mountain. I don't know what he was doing, but
Yeah, he took
No,
a field
my
trip.
bad.
It's like,
forward.
hey, Matt,
My
you're
phone was about to
upright.
die, so
oh, I got you. He's on his laptop now.
yeah, it's
That's all good. You want to talk about that weekend?
yeah,
and
yeah.
perhaps,
So we got
what's
a little
forward?
mini tour. It's a 3-day tour we're doing. We're going to start everything in El Paso, Texas, go over to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then down to Alamogordo, New Mexico. And then be the end of February, beginning of March when we do all that. And we actually have a summer tour coming up. It's going to be a 2-week West Coast tour that's getting set up right now. We don't have dates and everything quite yet. We're waiting for all the information to come in because we just accepted the tour. So once all that happens, I'm assuming it's going to be California, Oregon, Washington, maybe Utah, Nevada, and hopefully back in Arizona. So,
Nice.
but yeah, hopefully
Nice.
Colorado.
Hopefully Colorado.
You know they're going to be hit George. They got to play St. George. St. George has a hell of a metal scene. People don't realize that. It really does.
It's all underground there because they don't want to get
Exactly.
shushed out of the town, but
It's
yeah,
very true.
it's there.
Your town, Salt Lake, is pretty
It's under.
hot
It's probably
too.
underneath. It's yeah, but over here the shows happen underneath the temple.
Somebody may or may not be dressed up like a dog. That's all I'm saying. I've only been to a couple parties in Salt Lake, but I will say,
No from us.
The
I
furries
will
exist,
say
man.
this:
We gotta embrace them.
whenever
We gotta
any
embrace them.
area is very conservative or whatnot, the freakiest people live there. Shit bubbles up when it's pushed out. All I'm saying. Take that how you
Look at
will.
that.
It's crazy.
It's
Crazy.
some
I live
stuff,
in
man.
Florida. Everybody's crazy here.
Yeah.
I'm used to crazy. You know,
But-
I mean, can't watch the news here. Yeah, it's You can't judge me,
Florida.
Hermes. I didn't plan on it. I came to visit.
The only thing crazy,
I used to know this gal that used to dance on boxes of clubs, and she's like, "Hey, come visit." So I did.
you must really like
that's
steel
all you get.
drums.
Every club you go to is like reggaeton. It's crazy. Yeah.
Everywhere you go. I went to Walmart in Orlando, and I'm like, does
Very
everybody
true.
play the same station?
Very, very true. Jesus Christ. And they all go on. It's really the craziest thing. Even my wife, because my wife's from here. That's why I'm here. But they all go on about how great Cuban food is. And they're like, "Oh, you'll love it, Jamie. It's, get this." And they have some crazy name for it. It's fried pork. And so I get it. And I'm like, it's just, there's no breading on it. The whole point of frying something is to fry it when it's breaded. That's what makes it good.
No,
I'm a
but
big
the flavor, though.
chunky guy. I like that breading, baby. I gotta, you know.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah, you want that carb. He likes his borders stuffed. Stuffed crust.
My women too. Anyway, that's another story.
Hey, Florida's cool. We're looking forward. We're with Curtain Calls, and they are
one of the cool
Florida,
things.
So
I've
would be
worked
cool
with Curtain Call
come
for
out and play
years,
out there
and one of
sometime.
fucking everybody. It is like, I got a lot of you guys play a lot of metal. I have a lot of metal acts go through there, and they're like, yeah. And I said, I have a lot of metal acts come on the show. And they're like, who are you getting them through? It's Guts. And I'm like, Curtain Call. And they're like, oh yeah, such and such. Blah, blah. Knew them all by name and shit. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, they know everybody. It's crazy. I'm glad.
And we've been setting up shows and setting up the tour and everything. And we brought it up to them and like, hey, what do you guys think of this? Do you know? Oh yeah, we know them. Good people. Go ahead. Like, don't worry about it. Like, it's great. It like gives you a peace of mind to work with some people, because any musician that has been out there for at least 5 years has been screwed over one way or another. And it doesn't feel good, man, because you got to just take it, leave with the one hand in the front, one hand in the back, and just
very true.
Get out of there before you take it.
Come to a point where you're like, well, I guess that was a $1,200 lesson. I'm glad it wasn't a $1,300 one. And it just, time after time of that shit can grind people down. That's why bands break up and shit. Not still solely, but I'm just saying it doesn't help. It doesn't help. Well, these guys are definitely ones to watch, folks. Like I said, add them to your playlists and shit. Calling for Chaos. This is the band. You're having a party, you get together, whatever, barbecue. Put these guys on. This is what your crowd wants. You want to hear this.
Hell yeah. And please do go and check our website out, callingforchaos.com. You can find all our links there, as well as the bottom of this video. And then we also have merch that you can pre-order, or you can buy straight from the website. There's going to be some extra merch that's going to be online purchase only, and some that's going to be at the show only also. And then we're going to start doing some raffles. We have some ideas for Patreon once we're on the road. We have a lot of different things coming up, and just join the member area. Make sure you're engaging with us. And if you want to send us messages, DMs and everything, we also respond. And just kind of, I'll be honest, just, take your time right now that we actually have time to be answering things and engaging with you online. We're looking to get really busy here, and then it's going to be like, you guys never respond.
It's cool that that's even an option.
Fault, so.
When I was a kid, man, there were many times I was relating to Rush. There were many times I had some thoughts for Geddy Lee and or old Neil, Hey, Neil, maybe you want to do this on your drum solo there. I had no way to get hold of him. There was no internet. There was no social media. Anything we knew about a band was from a magazine article or liner notes on an album. That was our entire experience. Or we can go see him at a show and briefly see that, we didn't know anything about him. Now you can email Geoff or Matt or Hermes or even Gabby and say, was that an Avril Lavigne riff that you threw in there? You snuck in there, Gabby? What the hell was that? It's cool, but
it is.
It's incredible.
So, out of all the guitar players I've ever worked with, like, nothing against Geoff or anything, but Gabby is like she's a boss. That girl comes in and just like puts in work, and I've never worked with someone like so passionate and
You can
like
hear,
straightforward.
I'll say it, I'll get the hate emails. And I'm not trying to be misogynistic or anything, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just telling you, I'm an old man, and something I've seen in the world. Women typically do way better with attention to detail than men. They work a lot harder, but attention to detail is really big with every woman I've ever met. Yeah, and I'm not putting that as that's not. How does my wife say it? My wife's younger than me. She has all these. I'm not throwing shade at anybody. I'm saying that's a good thing. We should all strive for a little more attention to detail. But you can hear it. You can hear every note she plays, she's thought about. You know what I mean? At least it's coming off that way.
Or she sits there and thinks about it, and she's, let me work on this. Let me work on this. And then we work together really well, her and I, as far like I love to write. Like writing music is like my passion from when I very first started learning the acoustic guitar, and her and I, we work really well. We feed off of each other a lot. And then whenever we're stuck, we're like, hey, Geoff, what do you think? And then he's like, noobs.
There you go.
Throw something at us. And I was like, yep, that works.
Reverb.
Okay, thanks.
Wire leading.
Right. It's also crazy because we call Geoff, like, he's the guy that does all the weird shit. So we're like, hey, Geoff, do something weird over here. What do I got to? Because you're the guy that does the creepy shit. Just fucking do it.
Exactly. But I was telling Matt before, when we were
Everyone has a role.
before the show, I said, Matt, you've got the coolest hair ever. And he said, I don't know about you. What the hell is this guy talking about? I'm like, I was just looking at your website. And he goes, oh, the Mohawk. The Mohawk.
Yeah.
You're not rocking the Mohawk tonight. He's got a hat on, gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, if you come out when we're on tour, come out, like, I'll have the Mohawk when I'm on tour.
Go.
So
there you go. Hawks are hard to do, man. Hawks are hard to do. A lot of hairspray on books when I was in high school. All I'm saying.
the pic.
Matt's like, all right, everybody come here and shave my head. Everybody's just
right. Everybody's drawing penises on my head and shit. Like,
oh man. No.
Can't sleep in peace, man. I'm telling you.
telling you. Folks, the name of the band's Calling for Chaos. Gotta check them out. They're doing stuff with Curtain Call Records right now. You gotta check them out. If you are in a band and are doing something and you need some help on the PR side, I don't know how that business works. I don't know. Pick up Brian's dry cleaning, or I don't even think Brian has dry cleaning. I don't know. Watch his dogs or whatever you got to do. Get those people in your corner is what I'm saying. Help you out a lot. Calling for Chaos will be in your town soon. And if it's not booked, help them make it happen. Yes. We'll see you all next time. Thanks, guys.
And thank you everybody for all the help, support, and for loving the sound, sharing it.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Jamie, for having us. Guys. This has been awesome.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
This has been pop art painter Jamie Roxx's Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. It has been executive produced by Jamie Roxx, recorded at his studio in Deerfield Beach in South Florida. All rights reserved by Pop Roxx Limited.
Hannah Oli, Pop Roxx Radio.
Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Roxx Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hicks från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Roxx Radio med Jamie Roxx.